Hey, Dr. Laura Dabney, talking about enmeshment. Are you close to your teen or are you enmeshed? The reason it's such a big deal because enmeshment ruins a lot of intimate relationships. Yes. So what do I mean by enmeshment? I start worrying about enmeshment when I hear about teens who are not going through their milestone. We know about milestones of kids when they're little, when they smile, they're supposed to roll over, to take their first steps. But we don't realize there's also milestones in teenage years. It's very similar to walking, actually. They're supposed to take their first tentative steps away from you, and then they get really good about walking, then running, and by the time they're, hitting late teens, they are running away from you. But if a child's enmeshed, they're not going through this milestone. Maybe that takes the form of not thriving when they're away for the summer at their other parent's house or at camp, or not thriving when they go to college, or not being able to have long-lasting, healthy relationships with the member of the opposite sex. Okay, those are all signs that something has gone wrong with that milestone. Now, why am I talking to you, the parent? Because children it's a vicious circle. Children who are enmeshed are because they're getting the message from the parent that they can't handle their separation. Okay? So if your child, you notice any of these symptoms or signs in your child, you're going to have to look at yourself. The more you keep saying to your child, it's okay, go ahead, do something, or why aren't you, or you should be, it's just going to cause them to be confused because they're getting a message from you that you're not okay with them separating. What could that message be? Well, it could take the form of simple guilt trip comments that you may think are no big deal, but come across as being scary to a child, such as, what, you're not going to be home from my surgery? Or, we do that family trip every year. Or, I can't come to bring you a birthday gift to college. Anytime you act shocked when the child is choosing their friends over you, not good. All they're hearing is they're doing what they normally should be doing, which is wanting to be with their friends more than you. That's normal. And if you act shocked and hurt, they're just going to be confused. And they don't want to hurt you because they love you, and they might choose to stay enmeshed with you instead of saying, well, Mom, you got to deal with it. Okay, so if you tend to do that, try not to. Another way this happens is if you get too involved with their things. If you're still holding on, trying to do their homework with them, or pick their colleges for them, or write their essays for them, or get involved in things that should be only by invitation only, should you step in on those things, and then very carefully. Okay, so let them navigate the waters, make the mistakes they're going to make. Yes, they are. That's okay. That's part of separating. The other thing that a lot of parents do is they don't want to feel the pain. If you feel pain, rage, irritation, annoyance at your teen, they are probably separating, because that's part of separating. It's actually a good thing. I've said in more than one video, gosh, when I have parents come in here and they've got a teen kid and they say, oh, we're best friends, we don't, very few problems with the child, no, everything's great. I worry. I really worry. Something's terribly wrong there. So if you're not able to, or think you can't handle the sadness, if you talk a lot about, oh my gosh, we're best friends, I can't imagine anything different, or them going off and leaving me or getting married, you're giving the impression you can't handle it. Now, if you have that kind of a role with your child, that's the role you're having with your significant other. That's all that energy you may be putting into your child, you should be putting into your relationship with your significant other. A lot of times people get enmeshed with their child because they're having problems with the significant other, and then they're this is all unconscious. I know you're not doing any of this on purpose if you're catching on to this, but you'll sometimes be making the child the pseudo parent, right? What you're not getting here, you're trying to get here. So this is where your energy should be going. Spending all time energy. That let your child go. You can complain about all the annoyance and everything has to be with him. The sadness, the annoyance should be with a friend, a counselor, or your significant other. And to your kid, it's okay. I understand. I'm a little hurt, but I'll be fine. You go ahead. Don't have to lie. I'm disappointed. I just assumed you were going on the family trip with us again this year. I will be fine. you go ahead and do what you need to do with your friends. I'm good. You always want to give the impression that you're fine without them. Not necessarily overjoyed, but fine. You'll be fine. That's the message to be giving them. Okay? So that's how to keep enmeshment from happening and hurting your relationship with your child, because really that ends up not going very well. If you do let them separate, I'll just tell you to help you through it, at the end is a beautiful relationship. Because only when they separate can they come up at the end and join you in a more lovely peer-to-peer relationship. They can't do that until you let them go. Okay. And then you will have a better relationship with your significant other, because that's where you'll be. Your energy will be there and not in trying to keep your child from leaving. Okay, so that's enmeshment in a nutshell. Of course, if you have any questions, any concerns, 757-340-8800.